What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so before I get into his video, shout out to the brother Zach Hankins for the $15 donation via the Cash App. And he had a question. And the question is, would you rather see Patrick Mahomes three-peat or Lamar Jackson win it all this year? Now, honestly, this is a trick question, because I have some partisan interest in this particular matchup, or this question, I should say, because the Ravens play in my Bills today. So obviously, I don't want them beating the Bills. So I guess by default, I would rather have this year Patrick Mahomes three-peat, because I don't want the Ravens beating my Bills, right? So if you're putting into the context of this year's playoffs and my rooting interest, then I'd rather have Patrick Mahomes three-peat, since Lamar Jackson winning the Super Bowl means that they would beat my Bills. Now, if the Bills weren't in this equation at all, if they hadn't made the playoffs, right? If you take all my partisan interests out of it, and the Bills weren't in the playoffs, right? This is how I would look at it. I would much rather, in a vacuum of Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, I would much rather have Lamar Jackson win the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 59, than Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs three-peated. I'm going to tell you why. Number one, we got to keep it a buck, okay? As much as I talk about, racial issues on this country, I'm one of the channels that's not afraid to talk about this particular subject. Some black YouTubers don't like to talk about it because ultimately it can't hurt your channel. It's definitely hurt mine. But I can look at myself in the mirror every morning and be proud of my work on this channel because it's authentic. And I'm not pandering or catering to a specific audience because, I want to curry favor with the majority in this country and have them, quote unquote, lay off my ass. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not espousing my true feelings about certain things. But like I said, I'm always fair. As much as we say that Lamar Jackson doesn't get the credit he deserves for being a two-time league MVP, and considering the fact that this is his best season he's had as a professional, and no disrespect to Josh Allen. And I'm a Bills fan saying this. Lamar Jackson, no disrespect to Josh Allen, no disrespect to Saquon Barkley, or any other contenders out there. Lamar Jackson should get his third league MVP. That puts him in rarefied company. But having said that, if you have 3 league MVPs, the pressure is going to be on you to win a Super Bowl. I'm sorry. That comes with the territory. That's why Aaron Rodgers gets so much flack for being a 4-time league MVP with just 1 Super Bowl. I mean, my goodness. If you have that many MVPs, you should be winning Super Bowls. That was the knock for a long time on Peyton Manning. You may recall he had a lot of Super Bowls, a lot of league MVPs, but he hadn't won anything. I don't believe he won his first one until, what was it, 2007, I think it was. Someone correct me if I'm wrong about that one. I think it was against the Bears. But yeah, Lamar Jackson, if he wins that third league MVP, he has to do it. He has to do it because if he doesn't, the pressure, the criticism is going to be absolutely through the roof. It may get excessive at times, but I can't sit there and act like it's not warranted because they don't want to just see a great individual player put up phenomenal numbers and then flame out in the playoffs. That gets old after a while. When you're great, that is a look for any organization to have a generational talent like Lamar Jackson is very, very infrequent. So you have to capitalize on that. And at the end of the day, to be truly put up there with the great all-time players in that hierarchy, you have to win at least a Super Bowl. You got to. Now, I always still believe that it's much easier for a great player to dominate and influence the outcome of a basketball game than it is a football game. But still, the championships, the rings are what count. Now, I will say this. From a historical standpoint, while I would much rather have Lamar Jackson without the Bills in this situation, right? Even though I would rather have Lamar Jackson win a Super Bowl versus Patrick Mahomes. If Patrick Mahomes, and they should be able to beat the Houston Texans today, but we'll see. If they were to three-peat, then that would be something that is truly historic because it's never been done in the NFL. It's never been done. There have been a few teams that flirted with it. Most notably, we saw there's still the Iron Curtain, not Iron Curtain, Steel Curtain, Pittsburgh Steelers of the 70s. They flirted with it in the late 1970s. I think they won something like 3 Super Bowls, was it, in 4 years? And then, of course, you had Tom Brady and the Patriots have a stretch where they won something like 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. And then, of course, you had the Cowboys. I think they won something like 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. What was it, 92, 93, and 95? So we've had it kind of get close to that. But to actually have a team three-peat in this era in the NFL would be truly amazing, especially considering that if they do it this year, the last 2 years, I can't really say the Chiefs have been like this juggernaut. I mean, they're really good, but they're clearly elevated by the play of Patrick Mahomes. And if he wins his 4th Super Bowl, and it'll be part of the first three-peat in NFL history, then to me, no matter how you feel about him, or how you feel about the Chiefs, or the whistle, and all of that stuff, league conspiracy, I felt the same way about Tom Brady, and the Patriots, and then later on the Buccaneers. But still, if he's able to do this, then to me that puts him arguably as I'm rarely a person that speaks in hyperbole, but I think that puts him at least top 3 all-time quarterbacks. I mean, how do you not put him there? I mean, he's already had the extraordinary body of work. We already see the skill set that we pretty much almost never seen before, a guy that can do everything he does on the field, including Tom Brady. I'm not saying he's as great as Tom Brady as far as his body of work, but I mean, just from a skill standpoint, Patrick Mahomes is non-pareil, just about, in my opinion. He has enough of a body of work to be put into that pantheon. And then if he wins a 4th Super Bowl, including the first three-peat, how do you not consider him a top 3 all-time quarterback at that point? But again, that's just my opinion. I mean, you may differ. But anyway, that's how I look at this. Yeah, if you take away the Bills, and I'm looking at this just, objectively, I'd rather have Lamar Jackson win the Super Bowl and get that monkey off his back. But, if you're talking about in the context of this postseason with my Bills specifically going against these Ravens, then I'm sorry. I want the Ravens to lose. Okay? I want the Bills to win because, hell, man, do you know how much of a, speaking of a monkey off your back, this would literally be an obese pachyderm off of the collective backs of Bills fans worldwide. Do you know how much of a burden it is to be the only team in NFL history to go to four Super Bowls anyway, let alone four straight and lose every time? And in the last three, they weren't even particularly close, especially the second and third one. They weren't even close. And it wasn't like those Bills teams weren't great. The first one, he just got outcoached by a legendary coach in Bill Parcells. The second and third one, it was just outmatched by the Cocaine Cowboys. Excuse me, the third and the fourth one, we were just outplayed and outcoached by the Cocaine Cowboys and Jimmy Johnson. And then the second one, the great Joe Gibbs outcoached Marv Levy, and they just had a juggernaut Redskins team. But anyway, that's all I got to say about that one. Tell me what you guys think.